Count the chairs. Go ahead. Some of them are empty. That's not the strange part. The strange part is how calm she looks about it. Somewhere behind her, a stranger, new, still dripping, still counting on his fingers, asks the only question anyone on this island ever asks first. How many nights have you counted? She doesn't answer. Not yet. She stopped announcing the number on the 4th night, not because she'd lost count. 9 days earlier, she couldn't have told you the difference between a fire that means safety and a fire that means audience. The wreck put 6 of them on the sand that morning. Some ships give you time to be afraid first. This one didn't bother. She counted the others without meaning to, a habit that would matter more later than it did right then. Someone was already waiting at the waterline. Not rushing, not shocked. Like he'd done this before, pulled strangers out of a sea that had just finished trying to keep them. He had. That night, he told them how the island worked before anyone thought to ask. No performance in it, no warning voice. Just the shape of the place they'd washed up in. Every night, at midnight, one of us stops being here. No sound, no struggle. In the morning there's a chair nobody's sitting in. The youngest of them laughed. Not unkindly, the way you laugh at a ghost story someone's telling too seriously by the fire. Nobody corrected him. Nobody needed to. Not yet. By morning, one of the new arrivals, a woman none of them had learned the name of yet, simply wasn't part of the count anymore. No body, no sign she'd gotten up, just a space at the fire that used to have someone in it. The boy stopped laughing. He didn't say much else, that whole day. On the second morning, before anyone asked him to, one of the new arrivals already had an answer. He'd looked at who went first, who went second, and said it like a checked fact. Whoever slept closest to the water, sleep further up the sand, you'd be fine. Everyone believed him. He said it with the kind of certainty that's hard to argue with. By morning, the person furthest from the water was the one who wasn't there. He didn't say much else that day. It was the last time he said anything about this place with that kind of confidence. After that, he stopped saying guesses out loud until he'd tested them twice. He started a notebook instead. Tide times, sleeping arrangements, who sat where and who had gone missing and in what order. His next theory was proximity, tested like a man who no longer trusted his own certainty. It was worth testing. That first week, everything was worth testing. The boy asked her, one night, if she was scared. A simple question, a fair one. She told him about the proximity theory instead. Who was sleeping near whom tonight? What the engineer thought it might mean. It was a good answer. It wasn't the one he'd asked for. In the morning, only one of the 2 carefully placed sleepers was still there. Proximity hadn't mattered, or it had mattered to exactly one of them, and there was no way now to ask which. Curiosity didn't dim. It just got more crowded, more failed pages, more careful questions with no careful answers underneath them. He didn't cross out a line this time. He just started a page with nothing written on it yet. 6 days in, the sea gave something back. A rowboat. Cracked along one side, but whole enough, maybe, to carry someone past the reef the wreck never made it past. Nobody knew if it would survive open water. Nobody had a way to find out, except by trying. The obvious answer was the boy, youngest. Most nights still owed to him, if the boat held. But more than one person, that evening, looked at her instead. She'd earned it, someone said. Steady hands. She'd know how to read a wave. Nobody said the other true thing out loud, that whoever went might not come back either, and better it be someone who'd last a while regardless. Somewhere in the arguing, someone glanced at the fisherman too, out of habit more than expectation. He was already shaking his head before anyone finished asking. Nobody pushed it. Whatever conversation had settled that question for him, he'd clearly had it with himself long before any of them arrived. She had a reason to take it. A good one. Nobody would have argued. She gave it to the boy, told the others, told herself, that she wanted to stay long enough to see what the engineer's notebook eventually added up to. That was true. It just wasn't the reason. The boat went out with the tide, and with it went the only proof, one way or another, that leaving this place was even possible. By morning, there was no way to know if it had reached anything at all. That, too, went uncounted. Some weeks don't have events. They just have less of you at the end of them than at the start. The engineer's theories kept failing: tide, pairs, proximity, staying awake. Each one a little quieter than the last. He kept writing them down anyway. One night, the rain came in sideways and the wood came in wet, and the fire, for a while, looked like it wasn't going to be a fire at all. He didn't say there was a problem. He just started showing her how to find the dry wood hiding inside the wet. How to build something small enough to survive before you ask it to survive anything bigger. How to hold a flame with your hands until it stops needing your hands. She asked him if it even mattered. They'd only build another one tomorrow. Wet wood always looks like it won't catch. It catches anyway, if you know where to start. In the morning, the fire was still going. He wasn't. He'd been there longer than anyone could remember arriving. Now there was a chair and a fire that didn't need him to keep burning, and nothing in between those two facts that made any sense. The Count kept doing what the Count always did. A woman who'd barely spoken a full sentence since the wreck. A man who'd started sitting furthest from the fire, as if distance from the group were its own kind of theory. Neither guess bought either of them a second night. They still never learned if the boat had reached anything at all. By the time it was down to 4 of them, nobody needed the engineer's notebook to know how this went. He had one theory left, and it wasn't really a theory. Just a thing nobody had tried. Stay awake, watch the fire straight through midnight, together, instead of alone, instead of asleep. Not to catch anything happening. Nobody who'd ever tried to watch had seen a thing. Just to be present for the hour, for once, instead of somewhere else in their own head. She said yes. Said it was worth trying. You never knew. Maybe watching together changed something. Midnight came the way it always came. Which is to say, it didn't announce itself, and nobody saw a thing. By morning, it was down to the 2 of them. The vigil hadn't changed anything, or it had changed something neither of them could have pointed to yet. He'd filled 11 pages by then. He looked at the 12th, still blank, and closed the notebook instead. He asked her something else, small, almost nothing. Whether she missed anyone. Not the fisherman by name, just anyone from before all this. And this time, she told him, not a theory, not a fact, an answer. He didn't say anything back. He just looked at the fire for a while. Then he nodded, once, like a man who'd been waiting a long time to hear something and hadn't realized it until he heard it. Midnight came. The rule didn't make an exception for the 2 people who'd finally stopped looking for it. In the morning, the engineer's chair was empty too. One chair left with someone sitting in it. Hers. The wood was wet again that morning. She built the small nest first, found the dry wood hiding inside the wet, cupped the flame until it stopped needing her hands. She didn't think about where she'd learned it. The sea, being the sea, put more people on that sand before the week was out. One of them asked her the only question anyone on this island ever asks first. How many nights have you counted? She didn't answer. She'd stopped announcing the number on the 4th night. Not because she'd lost count,